Hello, welcome to Walk in the Park. My name is Tony Ingram, your host, and this week it is October 15th, 2014. This is recorded, be shown in the subsequent week and then some other times as well. Episode 88 in our series, and if you would like to see more of our episodes, in fact all of our episodes, go to our vid blog or video blog at walkinpark.com. And it's all there. You can search and find everything that you want to find. So this week we're going to go to Cascadilla Gorge. Oh my gosh, where's that? Well, people in Ithaca know where Cascadilla Gorge usually they do. But let's get up in the air and take a look down from a satellite actually. And this is the south end of Cayuga Lake, just to get us oriented into the main geographic feature that defines our lives around here. And look at the lower right. You can see the sort of the gray area down there on the right side of that. That's the City of Ithaca. Let's zoom way down. Now we're looking down at East Hill, and this is Cornell University right in the middle. And atop Cornell University, the top part of the screen, you can see a dark green area and also another one at the bottom part of the screen. And then to the left, the hill just stops abruptly, and that's all downtown. Once was Cayuga Lake many thousands of years ago, abutted against that hill. But in any case, that's interesting. But the bottom one is what we're going to look at. It was Cascadilla Gorge, and this is what it was reopened a month ago, September 15th, reopened by Cornell Plantations, the Cascadilla Gorge Trail. So let's go right to it and look at Cascadilla Gorge reopening a month ago.
My name is Christopher Dunn. I'm the director of Cornell Plantations, and it's a real privilege for me to be affiliated with such an organization and to live in such a city as Ithaca. And it's a pleasure, too, to welcome all of you here this afternoon, to celebrate this very special occasion, which many of you have been waiting what probably seems like half a lifetime for. And I know that this particular trail has been closed for 6 years, and it's been a huge undertaking, a huge partnership to make this happen, and a considerable investment in terms of both human resources and fiscal resources. So this has been closed since 2008, and there was another little hiccup, I guess, in time with Tropical Storm Lee in 2011. But now here we are, finally, in 2014, here to celebrate the reopening of the Cascadilla Gorge Trail. Not only did it take 6 years to complete, but it took about $2.8 million for this to happen as well. About $2 million from Cornell University, input, of course, and resources from Cornell Plantations, our human resources, and some fiscal resources as well as support from FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, to the tune of about $800,000. So I think Cornell University's commitment of $2 million or so speaks to the significance of the university places in this trail and in the community that Cornell serves. So this trail is stewarded by Cornell Plantations on behalf of the university and the community, which is both a great responsibility for us and as well as a great honor. And this trail is a gateway in many ways. It's a gateway to Cornell, it's a gateway to the university, it's a gateway to the city of Ithaca, and in other ways it's a gateway to nature for many people. So these gorges are iconic really to Cornell and to all the people of Ithaca. So with that, we'll have a series of short comments this afternoon. I'd like to start by introducing Vice President for Facility Services at Cornell University, Mr. Coupon.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you, everyone, for coming today. What a beautiful day. what a great occasion to reopen the trail today. As Chris mentioned, I'm the Vice President for Facilities, and one of my responsibilities is taking care of the gorge, or at least worrying about the gorge. And so when I still remember 6 or so years ago when the boulders start falling off, I got the call from my staff telling me what's happening, and I was panicking. I said, well, what are we going to do? We can't let people in. It's a beautiful trail. I know people use it all the time to get from here to there. So we immediately had to close the trail because of safety reasons. And then, of course, after that, you have to run around trying to cobble together resources to take care of it. And, this was a time when we're still in a scarce resource time, but this was even worse back then, 6 years ago. And I really wondered how we're going to do this with everything else happening. And we were fortunate that we were able to do this. And I think this speaks to how important this trail is to Cornell University, that despite all of that, we were able to come up with the funding to restore the trail. It took a while. We knew we had to do it over a period of time, but it took a while, but we did it. And today we have this beautiful trail for you to enjoy. Half the gorge was actually reopened back in 2010, so you were able to actually walk from here up to where I guess Stewart Avenue. You were able to do that, but then the other half, the upper half of this trail, was very difficult to manage, and it was more complex to take care of, and so that took a little bit of time to take care of. So the walking trail itself has been improved through both realignment and elevation. Invasive trees and shrubs have been removed. Retaining walls were repaired, and a specially made gate that you see right up there was added. Safety features such as handrails, stairs, and stormwater drainage system have been upgraded. I also want to just mention countless hours of people's time that went into this project, both from my staff at Facility Services, many of who you see here, Plantations, the Planning Office, and numerous other university departments, as well as City of Ithaca and our state government as well. But there's one individual I do want to single out, and that's Dan McClure. Dan, if you're there, please give Dan a hand. Dan was the project manager for this project, and he absolutely poured his heart and soul into this project from day one.
I'd like to first, though, introduce the former mayor of the City of Ithaca, Carolyn Peterson. She is and has been for many years, as long as she's been here, a champion for the Cascadilla Gorge Trail. And while she was mayor, the city partnered with Cornell on several grant applications to support repairs. I think this speaks volumes about the value that the city places on local treasures such as the gorge and the trails. So Carolyn?
Hello, everyone. My response to the invitation for today was, hooray! Hooray! It's open and thank you. This is an undeniably beautiful respite in the heart of our city. Our benefits from the calming effect of nature on our bodies and minds, and the invigorating health benefits from hiking a gorge that can enhance creative thinking and problem solving. And there is always something different. Every day the water changes, rocks shift and move and crack, trees and branches fall, flowers bloom in the gorge crevices, and aquatic animals entrance us. I am fortunate enough to have the gorge nearly as my backyard. It's not only for a hike, but it is a true transportation path, a recreation path, a show it off to the visitor's path, and a respite from vehicle traffic when walking at East Hill. I have been walking this gorge for 40 years. I don't know how that happened. It was here way before any of us and will be here for millennia more. What we can do is protect it, keep it clean, and keep it safe. It has a long town-gown history, and on behalf of so many residents, full-time and students alike, I am so appreciative that Cornell was able to find the funds to repair the gorge, for safety's sake at keeping the integrity of the natural space. I remember as mayor walking the trail with Plantations and Cornell staff with blueprints and ideas for repair and reconstruction. We looked at missing stonework, missing handrails, tripping hazards, and my favorite, we just mentioned Stewart Avenue and the bridge. I would always walk like this really fast before I got to those falls because I didn't know what was going to come off the gorge wall. So I think I'm really looking forward to doing that, walking there today without my, it has taken a few years to come to fruition like so many projects do. From hikes with family, walking to a job in the town via the gorge, getting cool in the summer, admiring the ice formations in the gorge from Cascadilla Park Road, marveling that there is a trail good as any state park trail, just going right through the middle of our city, and it just actually keeps going and going. You can cross College Ave and walk along Oak Ave and then come up on Hoy and go below the synchrotron and then off 366 and East Hill Recway, and you just keep going. You can follow Cascadilla Creek for quite a long ways. These are all the things that are terrific about Ithaca. But not to forget the quirkiness side of things, since I think we just were top 10 for quirkiness. Yes. Number 3, awesome. People camping in the gorge. Garbage as large as dorm refrigerators and computers coming over the sides of the gorge. We will never see that again. Kayakers putting in after tropical storms went through in the most dangerous of conditions. I thought they were going to lose their heads under the bridge. It was very scary. Interesting artistic rock sculptures and condoned rubber ducky races. The community is thrilled to be at this point today to take a walk up the gorge on a repaired and new and safe trail, and then we have such a beautiful day in which to celebrate. This is probably going to be the biggest group walk up this gorge I've ever seen. So I'm so pleased that we have this repaired trail, and thank you to the community, thank you to Cornell University.
So I'd like you to all join me in welcoming Mayor Myrick.
What Mayor Peterson did for our community, the ramifications of her work and her effort are still being felt today and are being seen today in this gorge trail. So I hope you'll join me in thanking once again Mayor Carolyn. And it's true, you know, I'm the mayor now, but when I was 17 years old and I was looking for colleges, I came to Cornell University. It was one of many schools I was visiting. And a lot of schools have cool sculptures on their campus that they'll point out to you as you walk by. I was at Tufts and they have an elephant. You're like, oh, it's cool, it's an elephant. And then you go to other schools and they have cool archways. Like Harvard has an archway. So look at our archway. You walk through Cornell's campus and they say, here's a building and there's a 10,000-year-old gorge and here's another building. You say, wait a second. If you have a 10,000-year-old waterfall in the middle of your campus, you know, so yeah, and in fact, when I chose to come to Cornell, I chose to come here for 3 reasons. I had to choose between Cornell University and Princeton. And I chose to come here because the gorges were beautiful, the natural area was gorgeous. It was close to home. I grew up around here. And I did not get into Princeton. In that order, so I came to Cornell. And, as a student and now as the mayor, I have to tell you that this is important because of its symbolic connection. It brings you from the heart of downtown, the cultural and geographical heart of our community, into the main economic engine of our community. Its connection from east to downtown is so useful for the folks who work there, folks like me who live on East Hill but commute downtown. But its beauty is even more important. Today is a good news day, is when you can take a walk through a 10,000-year-old wonder. When you can walk out of your door and within 5 minutes be in a physical reminder that the problems you're facing today are not the end of the world. That there were problems before and that this community has endured. Well, it just tells you that this community will endure. So I want to thank Congressman Hinchy, FEMA, and I want to thank most of all Cornell University for keeping that reminder alive for so many of us.
Good morning.
This gorge would be beautiful without the stairs, it would be beautiful without the trail, but we would not be able to see it and experience it, we would not be able to travel it if it weren't for the wisdom of the university and putting a lot of money in the time in which I know there's not a lot of money to go around into keeping this open. So I hope you will join me sincerely in thanking Cornell University. Thank you for keeping this open.
Thank you, Mayor. That was fantastic comments, and we all need to take that to heart. So this symbolizes hope. That's what this is right here. And when Mr. Wang was up here thanking some of the people at the facilities group at the university, I want to do likewise and thank one of our staff who's been instrumental at our end in ushering and pushing this forward and keeping things on track, on time, under budget, and working tirelessly with both the city and the main campus to make sure that this trail opened for everybody. And that person is Todd Bittner, Cornell Plantations Director of Natural Areas. So Todd led the Gorge Trail reconstruction effort and worked tirelessly to bring Cornell, the City of Ithaca, Congressman Hinchy's office together to understand the significance of the damage of the gorge and the absolute need to repair this. And he's been a champion of its historical significance to Cornell Plantations, to Cornell University, to the City of Ithaca, and to the state of New York. So, Todd Bittner, thank you.
Thank you, Christopher. Welcome, everyone. It has been a 6-year labor of love to finally be at this day today. And you just can't imagine how many phone calls and emails and folks on the street that I meet that the first question that comes out of their mouth is, when is the Gorge Trail going to be open? And so if you'll humor me, I want to say that that's today. Thank you all. 85 years ago, Cornell alumnus and Board of Trustees member Colonel Henry Sackett made the 1950 Charles M. Lowry Plan vision a reality by donating $175,000, equivalent to $2.8 million today, for trails in Fall Creek and Cascadilla Gorges. The legacy that his gift left us is invaluable. Over the past years, our efforts to completely rebuild the Cascadilla Gorge Trail to its historic condition have renewed that legacy. Our aim was to have the repairs appear as the trail did in 1931 when the Sackett-funded project was completed. And if visitors today aren't able to tell the difference between newly rebuilt sections of the trail and the original trail, then I think we met that ambitious standard. That work, which began in earnest in the fall of 2009, was more or less on schedule until September 2011, when Tropical Storm Lee and Irene deluged our region. The storm inundated the trail as staircases were transformed into waterfalls and flood debris choked the gorge bottom. Shortly thereafter, Tompkins County was among those declared a disaster area by FEMA. The storm had two immediate outcomes for the trail. The first was positive. Rebuilt stairs, railings, and stone trails that had previously been renovated and reopened to the public weathered the storm floodwaters well, and proved our repair methodology was sound. The second was that yet unrepaired trail sections and staircases were left vulnerable, and the resulting damage was significant. The disaster declaration opened up federal recovery funds. New York State played a key role as well, chipping in a quarter of the necessary repair funds. To FEMA and the state's credit, they also recognized that the trail should be rebuilt to make it more flood resistant in the future, particularly in light of climate change. Other key individuals and institutions that had a significant role in making today possible include staff from Cornell Plantations, Cornell Grounds Department, the University Mason Shop, the Sheet Metal Shop, Community and Government Relations, as well as staff, elected officials, and appointed officials from the City of Ithaca, who all contributed with significant roles. I also want to recognize the leadership of Don Rakow, former Plantations Ian Wiles director, who during his 19-year tenure with us championed the Gorge Trail. I want to acknowledge Pogo Pelangeli, the main contractor that worked on the Gorge Trail repairs, including his stonemasons, Mike Reynolds, Jim Koski, and Phil Woodhouse, though I think Len Rock Artists is a more appropriate job title for them. And staff from Cornell Facility Services, led by Q Wang, also played a very significant role. Cornell's landscape architect, David Cutter, helped us design trail elements with a historic eye, while maintenance management director, Jim Gibbs, guided us to cost-effective approaches to help us meet our goals. And I also want to recognize project manager responsible for overseeing the construction side of this effort. Dan McClure brought great problem-solving skills to this unique project and masterfully incorporated 21st century technology into the trail while maintaining its unique character. Please join me in recognizing all of these individuals and institutions for the crucial role that they played. When this project began in 2008, I set a personal goal to have the trail be a safe place for me to take my 3- and 5-year-old children for a hike. They are now 9 and 11 years old, so it took a little bit longer than I had hoped. But I am proud to say that the Cascadilla Gorge Trail is again a place that can be enjoyed by people of all ages. Thank you.
going up and down?
No! I went on the bike ride today because I knew I was going to do this later.
Oh, so you've just been talking with people.
I started out and then Channel 7 wanted me to say a
Oh,
few
right, you ran back and you had to be
Yeah.
on TV. Oh, yeah.
So I'll put in, yes, this is my third time. I'm really
I was
fast.
like, wow, you're a role model.
Well, now Channel 13 is going to have it.
Yeah, there
All
you
right.
go.
That's excellent.
Okay, so maybe you can get out on the Cascadilla Gorge Trail before it closes for the winter, sometime, I guess, next month perhaps, when the ice closes it in like it does in the state park trails. But we've been waiting a long time for that joy to be able to get out on that trail again. So I want to thank you all for joining me again in Walk in the Park. Once again, this is episode 88. I recorded on the 15th of October, 2014. And may you have a wonderful fall or whatever season you are watching this in. See you again soon.